Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor. We're back in the Steepset and I have made my choice whether or not to do the allegiance right now. But before we talk about that, we have this quest that has just popped up for us. Citadel, the Jewel of Amnâd. Rísti, the greatest foreman of the Ironfold, has learned the location of the sacred Jewel of Amnâd. While the jewel has been found, it will take a skilled hero to recover it and return it to the throne. You should seek out Rísti as soon as you're able. So, as you see here, this is the first jewel of the throne of Citadel, and this is a very interesting turn of events. I thought that all these jewel quests were for level 140, so even though we had already completed all the deeds of Máttugard, I believed we would not get this quest until much more later. But as you see here, we already have the quest. So this quest, each one of the jewels will give you a quest that is of the level of the area the jewel is located in. So now we have the first one of these quests, and I had thought about saving all 7 stones for last, under the impression I was into, but now seeing how things work in reality, I think it will be actually really fun to start rebuilding, restoring the throne bit by bit, and we're gonna begin today with Rísti's quest.
As we always have.
The sacred Jewel of Amnâd. It has been found right here in Máttugard, but no one can say how to reach it. I ask you to find a way to retrieve it. And yeah, that's basically all he tells you. It's really close to Inbred Guthlu and the entrance to Deepscrave. And that's where we're heading next, as a matter of fact. I was checking what happens with the allegiance quests, the Shilric allegiance, and some of those quests, not all of them, but a couple, will have you go to other places of Gundabad we haven't been to yet. So I don't want to spoil that, and I don't want to go where we aren't supposed to be yet. So we're going back to the original plan, and we are saving the allegiance for last. But we are sort of compensating this with the throne jewels. And this is really interesting. There's a lot of lore behind the jewels, and Rísti will get to explain some of that to us as we find each one of them. And I always found that very, very interesting. So, yeah, we need to go down. Actually, there is a jumping puzzle somewhere around here, but I don't remember exactly where the start of the puzzle is, because we are at the spot, as you can see on the map, but we actually need to find a spot from which we can start climbing this structure in here. So let me look for it. I think it's actually on that side over here, and yeah, we can avoid some of the enemies. Maybe not all of them. We'll see. I'm not sure. Okay, this was the location of the treasure chest. Oh god. I'm not sure. I mean, we need to look. It's atop the structure. Of that I'm certain. I think I need to dispatch these guys to take a better look at the landscape and make a plan. That's where we need to get to. Okay, so you see here there are some sort of bridges connecting these places. So maybe we need to look instead at these adjacent structures. And here we have Eskil for the Legacy of Durin. We can advance that. We're already at the location, and Eskil Bloodthumb frowns nervously as you approach. Okay.
Oh, hello there, friend.
My master sent me to search Deepscrave for valuable works of a dwarf art he might restore, but I have heard from scouts that the caverns crawl with foes and the orcs have a village there. You tell Eskil that Stáli has asked him to search also for signs of the Zabad'ibîn that were lost from the Steepset, and the artist's assistant frowns again. Oh my. Yes, I will do my best, although I am not very practiced at the combat arts. Actually, you are an accomplished adventurer. Do you think you could observe my fighting style, my combat form, whatever it is your heroes look for, and tell me what I might be doing wrong? Thank you so much, my friend. Watch closely and tell me what I need to improve. Eskil fumbled his axe, which clatters clumsily to the ground.
Thank you. Yes, sorry.
Eskil looks down at the ground, dejected and ashamed. Am I being sent to my death, Beriathan? Reports from Deepscrave make it sound a den of foes crawling with orcs and goblins, and you have seen what happens to me when I seek to wield an axe. I am apprenticed to Stáli and must do as he orders, but if I venture into Deepscrave as I am now, I will surely perish and my master will need another apprentice. I know you are busy with your other duties, but do you think you could find a dwarf at Máttugard that might instruct me in the ways of combat? What I need is a good teacher, skilled and patient both. Alright. We gotta go back to Máttugard. Okay, that works. We are not going to Deepscrave yet, even though we're really close to the entrance. But alright. We can do that. Just trying to remember which one of all these structures will take us to the stone, but it's very fortunate that we found Eskil now. It's kind of curious. On one hand, Stáli, as he told us, is very interested in recovering all the jewels of the Zabad'ibîn, but and I mean on a normal playthrough, quote unquote normal, you wouldn't unlock this quest until much later, because if you are questing normally through Máttugard, you would miss some Slayer deeds, you might miss some of the Explorer deeds. So the question still remains if Stáli will be the one to find the jewels. But well, I have already discussed that with you, and we are already seeing that here as well. Stáli will not find the jewels. We are the ones that will be doing that. But it still works. I mean, we have just talked to Eskil, and he will of course try to look for the stone, and technically the stones haven't been found yet. So I think the devs also took that detail into consideration in case someone was able to unlock that quest before leaving Máttugard. That seems like a reasonable enough explanation to me. But I have no idea where am I supposed to go for this. I seem to remember there was some sort of carving on the stone that would allow you to climb, something that you can use as a stair. But I'm a little confused now. Oh, come on. Okay. Now. Yeah, there's some sort of... Not exactly a carving, but... I remember the stone being cracked at some point. I hope I'm right. Do we come here? I mean, it's not exactly at the location where the quest ring is on the map. You gotta turn around a little bit. Look for it a little bit, but... I don't remember where. It's a jumping puzzle. Very similar, as far as I remember, to the Beacon of Eowyn in Rohan. Not as difficult. Because I know... Okay, yeah. Here we have the lever. The lever mechanism reveals a set of precarious platforms on the structure above. Awesome. So, and we just need to follow them and find a place from which we can climb them. So as I was saying, this will be a jumping puzzle, but not one as difficult as the one in Eowyn. There were a lot of players that struggled with that one. And I do enjoy the jumping puzzles, but I also understand if some players struggle with them, not wanting to do them. The game has a couple of those puzzles, but... come on. Okay, you saw that glitch, right? We were able to keep Forced March active even though we were in combat. That's very interesting. If I could find a way to replicate that. Using Forced March in combat, that would be awesome. Now we just need to find where the platforms spawned. Ah, here's the place. So I was right. I was halfway right. You do need to activate the lever first, but after you do, this is where you need to come from, really close to one of the locations of the treasure chest. All right, simple enough. Just gotta be careful here with our jumps. And that's... oh, almost. We almost failed there. Okay. But we're getting really close to a jewel. Alright, yeah. This sort of bridges that we saw from down below. I was also right in remembering them. Ah, take a look at the... ah, the jewel. Here we have it. The Jewel of Amnâd. Huge. A huge jewel. But here we go. Let me just take a picture of it. Alright, I think that's enough pictures for now. Collected the Jewel of Amnâd. Now we need to add the jewel to the throne. That's amazing. And I am very curious about this jewel because, as you see, it's really high above and really far from locations that you could traverse normally. So I'm wondering, is the jewel always in here? Is the jewel always usable? or if only it becomes usable when you unlock the quest. Because if it's always usable, I mean, that can be true because you are too far away in here from any other location. I don't think even if you are spamming the elite key that you could find this jewel. But I'm not so sure about that, and there is no way of checking without having the quest. Oh no, well, there is a way. You could come here with a captain and then summon someone who doesn't have the quest, but in that case I think the devs would have considered that, so I think the jewel shouldn't be usable if you don't have the quest or anything, because, well, captains are really good at finding a way around certain restrictions. Anyway, we're gonna use our milestone back to the Steepset, and we're gonna add the jewel to the throne, and then we'll continue. We'll go back to Máttugard. This is another reason why I also think that it would be better to do the jewels one by one, something that I didn't remember before. But the thing is, if you, after you find each jewel, you need to come back to the throne and add them yourself. But if you have more than one quest active, and if you have found more than one stone, all the stones will be added at the same time to the throne room. And I actually like a lot being able to add the stones one by one. So that's what we are doing right now. Added the Jewel of Amnâd to the throne of Citadel. So there you have it. It's already looking good, it's looking better, and we're making good progress with the jewels.
Durin's folk shall endure, as we always have.
I thank you for retrieving the Jewel of Amnâd, one of the 7 secret jewels of Citadel. I have been researching the jewel since its discovery, but to see it restored fills me with a feeling of triumph I can hardly explain, even to you. Behold its light green radiance. This gem symbolizes the will of the dwarves to achieve whatever they set their minds and muscles to accomplish. Let it be a sign to all those who struggle against overwhelming odds, and give them the strength to persevere. The return of this jewel shall undoubtedly give us the will to continue our quest and see the mountain home reclaimed. Yeah, every time you bring one of the jewels, Rísti will explain you what it symbolizes, and each one of them has some really great lore behind them. So, well, here we have the first jewel. The Jewel of Amnâd, the Jewel of the Will of the Dwarves. Awesome. Now, we're going back to the Noble Gate. And, well, we'll need to find someone willing to teach Eskil a little bit. Okay, Durin is still here. Alright. I have little time to spare for such instruction as Eskil Bloodthumb requires, Beriathan. There must be someone else who can teach the lad. Yeah, that's what I thought. You expect me to teach a young Longbeard how to fight? He would not survive the experience, I assure you, even had I the time to spend. But if you're looking for someone who does have the time to spare, you should find an idle Longbeard. Perhaps the one called Rísti to the northeast of this camp. Yeah, well, we have our answer there, but I still want to see what everyone else says.
I am too busy to provide such teaching. I'm sorry.
Alright.
Have you a moment?
I forge metal into weapons. I do not refine inexperienced dwarves into warriors. Find someone else. Yeah, perhaps the one called Rísti to the northeast of this camp. So, northeast. But which level exactly? Hopefully not too far. Alright, no, not too far. At all.
Eskil Bloodthumb seeks a trainer in the arts of war.
I have seen him following that imperious sculptor through the halls of Máttugard, a cowed and shrinking figure. He is no warrior. Not yet, at least. I and my axe will make him a worthy addition to the Gabil-memag, much as his master carves unhewn stone into figures of royal shape. By my training's end, he will fear nothing, but not before. Bring him my first lesson. Get away from Deepscrave. You are not ready for such a place as that. Tell him too that once he has returned to a place of safety, I will find him for a second lesson. A dead dwarf is no help to his master or his prince, and with my help he will not become one. Alright, back to Eskil. Well, at least we have the civil master that can take us back. Well, really close to Berg-beam.
Durin's folk shall endure, as we always have.
There we go. So now, if I remember things correctly, yeah, we need to climb down the stairs. Grab this coffer. And Eskil will be really close by. Just need to avoid some of these guys. But there he is. Rísti has agreed to teach me what he knows of combat. That is fine news, Beriathan, thank you. Have you seen his axe? That is a dwarf that knows a thing or two about slaying orcs, and better yet, he knows how to stay alive while he does it. It will take some time before I learn what Rísti has to teach me. I will venture into Deepscrave once my new teacher deems me ready to do so, but it might be a while. Could I ask you to bring word to my master that I will be delayed? You should find him at Myrgrind, I expect. As you return to go, Eskil suddenly speaks again. One more thing, friend. Make sure not to sign anything. Sound advice, Eskil. Thank you so much. That will come in handy later. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just take a look at poor Eskil. He looks so under the weather. I mean, he looks so sad. But he will be learning soon enough, so we don't need to worry too much about him, I hope. Alright, so Stáli is back at Myrgrind yet again. Why did we need to do this, go back and forth so much? I don't know. We're gonna break the word to Stáli of what Eskil is doing. At least, thank God, we have our masters. Otherwise, well, you can still maybe take the swift travel from Berg-beam. Unless you are a free-to-play player, but well, at least we have some options ourselves.
What? You're telling me my apprentice has not yet ventured into Deepscrave?
How will he find me the Zabad'ibîn if he refuses to leave Máttugard?
Did you convince my apprentice not to enter Deepscrave? For shame.
For shame, Beriathan. You had no right to interfere in this matter. I will forgive you if you sign this contract agreeing to help me instead. The parchment is right there. Alright, so... this contract certainly appears quite thorough. And Eskil has already told us not to sign anything. So I'm gonna follow his advice. I'm not sure what happens if you sign the contract instead, but I have a couple of characters that are really close to this point in the story, so I think I'm gonna sign the contract with one of them, and as soon as I have something to show you about this outcome, I will do so. But for the time being, no, not signing anything for you. You shake your head and Stáli laughs of your refusal.
It is nothing at all.
We're all working for the same goal, are we not? Victory in Gundabad helps every interest. Mine, Prince Durin's, and yours. That is simply logical and no one can deny it. You should return to the prince and see how you can help the Gabil-memag. And while you adventure on behalf of all dwarves, perhaps you will keep your eyes open for works of art that might be of interest to one specific dwarf. What will happen if you sign the contract? I'm so curious, but not so curious that I'm gonna sign it myself. That would be stupid.
With your help, we have secured Máttugard, and now it is time to push beyond these halls.
With your help, we have secured Máttugard, and now it is time to push beyond the limit of the last conquest. There was a war to fight then. Now the war is here, and we need not turn our attention elsewhere. To the west of Máttugard, you will find Deepscrave, an enormous cavern more than 1,000 feet tall. Within the vast base, a single column of stone descends into the darkness, the Berg-beam, pillar of the mountain. The lords of Gundabad dwelt in Máttugard, but the common folk lived in homes built around the great column. I hear tell that now the dwellings in Deepscrave are home only to orcs and goblins. A terrible insult. Venture into Deepscrave, slay any orcs you find, and inspect the Berg-beam at several different points to ensure it stands strong with no sign of weakness. Then return to me with your report, and together we will decide how best to proceed. For that, we once again going to Imrek Guthlu. But now we are definitely going into Deepscrave. It took us a little while with the jewel and everything else, but we are finally going into Deepscrave. You would remember that Lassie also gave us the vector to Deepscrave. If you're seeking Deepscrave, it's not far from here. You can find it by traveling south. Tread carefully, for very few dwarves have yet to venture within the deep shaft. If you do venture there, you should first seek out Féli and advise her to Náin the Slakeless. Náin has led a group of dwarves into Deepscrave just recently. They should be on the upper tier in Aslíf. I think this would be the best moment to pick up that vector, but well, you can, once again, pick it whenever, so that way the devs can keep Gundabad open-ended and not as linear as other expansions in which you needed to complete each and every single quest before you were able to go to the next area. But I think if the devs had continued on with that design philosophy, we would have gotten that vector to Deepscrave right now. Now, there's something I don't remember. These stairs here are the way down to Deepscrave. But what I don't remember is this is another way to Deepscrave. So what's the difference between each one of them? I'm not sure. I have no idea. I'm so confused right now. Deepscrave, in my opinion, is the most confusing area in all of Gundabad, quite possibly the entire game. Especially the first time around. It's so twisty. It's so huge. It has so many levels. I mean, this seems to be the mid-level of Deepscrave, but I don't know. This is where we're supposed to be. That Drake has a quest for us. But I think maybe we're supposed to enter Deepscrave from the other side. To be honest, I don't remember what's the difference between the two entrances. So we're gonna take the other one that it's better suited for riding, at least. These stairs are too narrow for my liking. Oh yeah, Deepscrave is terribly confusing. Incredibly confusing. At least it is for me. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna pull up my Deed Accelerator. A 6-hour one, okay. Gonna bite a bullet. We have Goblin Slayer and Dragonkind Slayer. So we need to defeat 80 dragons, 100 goblins, or orcs, maybe. But with the accelerator, we should be okay. Oh, come on. Let me move. Come on. Jeez. Alright, what do we have here? A couple more quests.
I...
Came up from Aslíf to try and help Felgar here. Can't say it was easy finding my way up and down. The main staircase is circling Zabad'ibîn through all the darkness. There are lanterns near the stairs, but the orcs have snuffed them out. You headed down? Maybe you could light the lanterns along the way. Half of them are above Aslíf on the upper tier and half below. It'd be nice if getting lost in the dark became the least of my worries.
Tis a time for glory, not idle chatter.
Oi, do me a favor, would you? I've got a job to do, but as you can see, I've landed myself in an embarrassing predicament. She gestures to Thuthuk, tending to her wounds and grimaces. You need to send these missives to a few of the scouts. If nothing's gone horribly wrong, they should still be where they are stationed. 2 scouts are on the level below us, one's on a bridge to the east, keeping an eye on Durshulot, the other's watching Gazat Fark to the west. The 3rd scout should be waiting in Aslíf, 2 levels below us. Alright, at least we're getting some instructions regarding this place. Once again, so confusing. So confusing. Now, I'm not sure, but I think there should be at least one treasure chest in this sort of central hall. These are stairs down? Oh my god. They are. Stop confusing me, game. I have no idea where am I supposed to go. Sage's Coffer. Alright. Sites of Deepscrave, Abad-Nuvu, the Berg-beam. Okay. So this one here is the Berg-beam. Let's see if we can find some of the debris we need for the main quest. And this is the lantern. The upper position of the Berg-beam appears sturdy enough. Here we have the debris pile, and these are the stairs. Beneath the pile of refuse you find a dirt-smeared and cloudy gem. These are the stairs and the lanterns you would follow to reach Aslíf. But the question now is, what is on that other path we just saw? And I think that's gonna be one of the treasure chests in this place. Once again, this area is easily the most confusing in Gundabad, so I have some sort of... Well, I do remember this due to the fact of how difficult it was to find my way around. And how difficult it was to find some of the things we were supposed to find in here. So I don't remember if there will be a quest that will require you to come to this hallway. Most likely there is one, at least. But it's just, this place is so big. I just want to make sure I don't leave anything behind, because as you've seen, it has a lot of verticality too. There are a lot of levels to explore in this place. I'm not entirely sure that the game will have you explore every nook and cranny. There are different regions that the game doesn't send you towards, and I think this is one of them because, as you can see here, I was right on that regard. Here we have one chest. You did, Treasure of Deepscrave. You have found an ancient treasure cache. Nothing else in here as far as I can tell. We need to find 8 of them as usual. We already have one, so that's good. This is the Explorer deed that we just got as well. Not a lot of things to explore either. Alright, this is already looking way better than my first time in here. Right. So back where we left off, following the Berg-beam and lighting the lanterns. Right. Sandstone, okay. Alright, here we have one of the dwarf scouts. Many thanks. Now if only I could find a better vantage point without having to rely on crates. Yeah, tell poor Gimli about it. Okay, so here we have... Is that the Berg-beam? I don't know, but it looks cool. Deepscrave is a very confusing place, but it's also one of the most cool looking ones. So it all evens out in the end, I believe. Come on. Thanks for the orders. I'm sure Felgar's alright. Thruthruk knows what he's doing. With dwarves, you never know. Not exactly sure what you're scouting there. I don't see anything noteworthy there, but... Here we have Aslíf at long last. So we're gonna grab the milestone, grab the stable master, and here we have the dwarf scout. Alright. New orders, finally something to do. You have completed Felgar's request. The scouts have received their missives and Felgar will be back on her feet soon enough. And we have quests of Deepscrave. We need 20 of them. Alright. Simple enough.
Aye?
Beriathan, it is good of you to join our expedition. There is much to do. Should you seek to help us, Lord Náin may have just the task. Alright, do tell. I'm curious now.
Hail, friend, and welcome to Deepscrave.
Náin gestures to the oppressive darkness that surrounds the Berg-beam. A shame that I can only stand here and watch as the orcs continue to brutalize the homes of our ancestors. Gorgar has fled somewhere into the darkness like the coward he is. Locating and defeating him should be our first priority, but my own advisor Féli believes I am being too hasty. As if I can be hasty about seeking the death of one whose family caused mine, and many others, such grief. Whatever end I can grant him, I will make sure it is anything but quick and painless. But I am sure you did not come here just to hear me rant. There are problems that need solving after all. I sent the scout Múta to investigate reports of missing supplies. She went downstairs to examine the supply area before leaving, and that was the last time anyone saw her. Normally I would not be concerned for someone of her caliber, but we received no word from her. Figure out where the missing supplies have gone, and I'm certain you will find Múta. Alright. Just a picture of you two guys, if you don't mind. And let's try and pick up some more quests. Yeah, this is the vector to Glooming Tarn. Again, I'm not going there yet.
At your service, and your families.
Ah, Warden, aren't you? Would you like to help an old hunter? I came to Deepscrave to help the Gabil-memag with a few bounties. I'm no longer as quick as I used to be, but I refuse to retire. to complete my final jobs within Gundabad itself. I would be happy enough to retire afterwards. If you'd like to split the bounties with me, you'll have to carry out the actual hunting. I've done my part of the job already, tracked the targets down across the Deepscrave myself. There are a few names to cross off my list, starting with the first target, Kaupur. Go southwest and down a level from the middle tier to Court Gurath. Use this stake to catch Kaupur's attention. Oh, and bring back his armor, would you? I'm sure the Gabil-memag would be interested. Anything else in here? And more importantly, where is the second pile of debris?
What news do you bring?
Beriathan, hello! I decided it was time to move on from studying the wildlife in Elderslate. After all, it's been many long years since my people have set foot within Gundabad. I have been asked to study the two distinct types of drakelings in Court Gurath to the southwest, a level below the middle tier. I'll need a few samples of each, but I haven't been able to get close to them myself. If you could help me procure the samples, it will be much appreciated. Alright. Debris. I need some debris. What's the middle tier? It's this one? Debris pile, yeah. Strange scratch marks on the ground lead out of Aslíf. Give me just a second. The middle portion of the Berg-beam still stands strong. Buried within the fallen debris, you find an old and rusted dagger. Alright. The scratch marks leads away from Aslíf and to the west. Every now and then, the orcs at Durshulot will mount coordinated attacks against us. These attacks have not been overwhelming or difficult to deal with, but there must be a reason why the orcs are holding back. I suspect the purpose of these attacks is to tire us out, make us waste our resources before the longer fight ahead. But two can play this game. Go northwest on the middle tier to Durshulot and destroy their weapons.
Have you a moment?
The banners hanging in Durshulot mock us. The orcs believe that those banners and Gorgar himself remain untouchable. We may not be able to deal with Gorgar today, but we can burn those banners at the very least. Head northwest to Durshulot. Show the orcs that they are mistaken. Where do we go first? Ah, here we have some of the lanterns. I'm gonna leave that lantern there actually so that I remember that's where the trail leads for that quest. But let's try and follow these scratch marks. Oh, come on. Freaking goblins. The supply crates have been emptied. And the track continues. Alright, you're not interested in fighting, that's okay. More crates. Ah, that's the way to Gloomintarn. We're not heading to Gloomintarn anytime soon, so a quiet whistle alerts you to Múta's presence near the water wheels. Gabil-memag. Okay, there she is.
The situation isn't as simple as I thought it would be.
Beriathan, Lord Náin sent you? My apologies, I didn't mean to take this long. The situation isn't as simple as I thought it would be. You saw the empty crates along the way, yes? Well, I've been keeping an eye on our thief, an orc who's been dragging supply crates to Durshulot. But as you can see from the empty crates, he's not bringing all of the supplies to Durshulot. There may be other thieves involved, though I have yet to see anyone else stealing our supplies.
We need to question the thief, and that
From my observations, the orc is a bit of a coward, preferring to plead rather than fight. How about this? Retrieve whatever is left of our supplies in Durshulot on the middle tier to the east. The ensuing ruckus will flush the orc out and allow me to corner him. We can meet back here once you're done. If things go badly or if I misjudge the orc's cowardice, I'll have your back. Good luck. Alright, but what about this ramp? Anything in this ramp? Treasure chest? Anything? Or does Deepscrave also circle around itself? Durshulot sentry. Yeah, it kinda does. Those barricades you see there, that's the goblin camp of Durshulot. And we could have come here through the other side that leads back to Aslíf, in fact. Indeed, enemies of Deepscrave, Durshulot. What do we have here? Well, apart from all this. No, I was trying to check the deed. 8 locations. That seems a little bit more like it. For Explorer deed. So I think going back to Aslíf so that I can just pick the Trail of Lanterns. Wow. Full of blood there. I think that's something else that we'll also need to investigate. Ah, but these lanterns lead the way down. All right. I'm not going to the lower level just yet. But I'm wondering then, whose blood is it? Curious. Sapper, please don't be one of those annoying sappers. Yeah, as long as you don't knock me back, I'm good. I can take the explosion. Well, actually, it seems I can't. Especially not with lag. Okay, there we go. We have banner, supplies, and weapons. Yeah, it seems we gotta be more careful with the sappers, gotta live. I'll do my best. Because these sappers really are a pain. Alright, another dwarven treasure. Awesome. Stop rooting me, please. Come on. Can we climb here? Yes or no? No, we need to come from the other side. Shame. A rare Gundabad chest. Okay. We also need those. Ah, for God's sake. Let's pick the chest first. We got the deed. Oh, we cannot open that. God. I gotta free up some backspace. The banner. Here we have the deed. 4 rare chests in Deepscrave as well. You start seeing the pattern. Each area in Gundabad has 8 regular chests, 4 rare chests. So at least you know what to expect. Sappers. Ooh, how? Destroy it. Alright. There was another banner there. God. But not through here. Oh my god. Shouldn't be struggling this much. I can tell you that. Alright, have the supplies, return to Múta. Alright. Let's continue burning the banners, barrel of weapons. The last banner. As you're seeing here, Durshulot has 2 entryways. And I think... No, this is not the other entrance to Máttugard that we just saw. With the narrow stairs and everything, but... Well, that's an area of Deepscrave that we don't need to explore just yet. Return to Rekur and return to Múta. Where do we go first? What a great question. Completed Deepscrave Orkind Slayer. And you did Orkind Slayer Advanced. Awesome. Well, let us leave the camp. There we go. At least with this, we can go back to Múta. Ah, but this is another way down. No. No, the way back to Múta is through here then. But this gives us the time to check the deeds that we completed. 5 LOTRO points, some reputation. Alright. Now, for the advanced tier, 200 Orkind. We're making good progress once again. There are a couple more Orkind camps in the Deepscrave that will get a chance of attacking. So I don't worry too much about this Slayer deed. The one that is a true pain to complete. And once again, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but the Troll Slayer deed in Deepscrave is a pain because trolls can only be found in one area in the entire Deepscrave, and And it's one of the last areas you'll get to even, so... It's a pain. That deed is a pain. Oh, what do we have here? Upon seeing you, the orc begins to ramble. I want to talk to the orc and you're not gonna let me, so I'd much rather take care of you now that I can. But also, it's not every day that we have a captive orc. It looks nasty. It doesn't look good. Which for an orc is, I guess, a compliment. I don't know. I didn't want to steal from you folks. I had to, on the quartermaster's orders. Between the raiding hobgoblins and how this war's going, we haven't got enough supplies. And I admit, I stole some of your supplies for myself too. Just don't kill me. I've got information on some dwarf meats we got as prisoners. Dwarves meats disappeared recently on their way to Gundabad, but we lost their trail. We eventually assumed they had perished. Regardless of whether it's the whole truth, the orc is a prisoner now and should be treated as such. I'll bring him back to Aslíf. No doubt Lord Náin will want to speak to you afterwards. Awesome! We also needed to go back to Aslíf to turn in the other quests. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just gonna use the milestone. This is not a good place to end the episode at, but I gotta say, I think we did a lot of good progress in here. Alright, here we are back at Aslíf, but as I was saying, we'll turn those quests in on the next episode. We have already run out of time for today, so for the time being, thank you so much for watching today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.